In this America today, we are facing the reality that war is all but inevitable. All of the nations, just look around at what's happening to the world and the billions of people who have no place to go, and war is all but certain. We have to create world law. We have to create national laws that we can live by. Not the thousands of excuses that men create and rules and things to rule over us, but laws that we can live by. This is the best that men did do, and that leaves us with women to try. You take it however you want to. That leaves us, different means you have to have different, and different as women. Whether we like it or not doesn't matter. So, we need a Bill of Rights for soldiers, and we need a Bill of Rights for citizens, so that they too know exactly what we expect of them. And of course, one of the first law of world law is that you, as a soldier, defend your nation only. We're not in this for somebody else. That's up to international policing. And that means we have to identify what is international policing. We have to assemble it, and we have to enforce it. And we have to create a world court to handle the leaders that get out of line. And as we all know, there are leaders who get out of line. And of course, world law will include the fact that if you do not surrender to the world court and to international laws, we're going to come and get you. And we're going to remove you, and if we absolutely have to, we're going to target and kill you as a leader who failed life and society and world. That's just how it is. Whether we like it or not doesn't matter. That's just how it is, and we have to do it. And there are no nations that are exempt from that. We have to create world law and world policing, and men do not do that because their leaders don't want to be targets. And of course, who does? But the fact of the matter is that armies are led by leaders who create armies to lead and create the excuses that they use to rule over others by murdering and making fear the object of their intent. So I have to have women decide what life could be better served with. You have to do it. We don't have a choice. All right. Well, anyway, let's see. Well, let's just go back to the idea that women have to make a decision. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to, sign your name and say, "I'm here too." We have to organize into what we need to create a suitable committee, and organize to create the how to feed ourselves, and organize how do we protect this world, and organize to create what is a policing force, and how do we fund it, and so on. We have to do everything that we have to do, or you do. And no, I'm not your leader. This is about women. Women have to make that decision, and you hide, because the end result of it is that if force is going to murder you, you don't want to contend with that. And we all understand that. But the fact of the matter is that world law is world extinction, or world war is world extinction, and we can't let that happen. And in this America, they've already identified and elected a president who is, war is what he believes that he can do. Just like, he believes that nothing has changed, when everything has in fact changed. Everything has changed. Too many people, too much pollution, too much everything. Because that's what the universities led us to be. And it is the diploma that leads. It is not any other form or fashion. It's not political, it's not this or that, it's the university diploma that leads. They indoctrinated every child for the last 60, 70 years. They indoctrinated everything about media as propaganda to make the society believe they are the only ones who can make a decision, the only experts that there are, as is communism. They are the ones who stole all of our money and threw away all of our manufacturing. And it is strictly banking that produces 2/3 of the income of this United States. Banking, which doesn't create any money. Banking, which is the foundation of all wars, because if you can't pay your soldiers, then they quit on you. Banking is the problem. And of course that means that everybody who has money thinks that they're God. They are not. And we have to understand that there will be changes. That instead of depending upon money, we need to depend upon time. And instead of trying to get every damn penny out of the ground that you can, we have to accept the fact that the world needs us to be realistic about what we can and cannot do. And women, of course, I don't find them leading much, because they are, and I'm forced to recognize that that patience, which is a part of being female, apparently, comes not so much patience but endurance. If you feel like you don't have a choice, you have to endure it. If you feel like there is no other option for you, you have to endure it, or you die. You can bitch and moan and complain, as a lot of women do, but it won't do any good, because either you step up and you commit to the idea that truth has to lead us, not whether men are in charge or whether women are in charge or any other portion or part of it. Truth has to decide. And we have to perform with justice and fair play and equality in a courtroom in order to do that. And of course that means that you have to pay attention to what the courtroom is doing. No more closed doors. You have to pay attention to what society is doing in the future, what the universities are doing, because the universities mutilating nature puts you on the line first as women, because there's nothing so certain as the chemistry that destroys all of life. Everything that we depend upon, everything that we find valuable, everything that we desire, everything is about nature and what it does for us, the gift that it is to us. And of course your universities are completely destroying that, mutilating that, trying to incorporate insects into, it is beyond imagination. It is Satanism. It is the truth of it. And nobody gets to be more playing God than those who are trying to ignite atoms on fire, saying, well, we can control it. We can look at the sun and say, we can control it. You can't control it. You can ignite it. And if we have a world war, you can be absolutely certain that it will be ignited, because there are missiles with 10 or more nuclear bombs on top of the missile. 10 or more 20 megaton bombs, and they're going to be released in quick succession. And that means that the plasma that we need to ignite atoms on fire will exist, and the world will turn into a sun. And there are all kinds of things that are wrong. In other words, men have gone past their ability to stop themselves, gone past their ability to recognize what is real or is not real. They all believe in the fantasy of university, the delusions of university, the imagination that they can be God like university, and they cannot. You have to set them straight. And of course, Nobody but women can actually control a population. You are the ones who make babies. A vasectomy will not help you. That just removes the chemicals that make sex pleasurable for men. That's what it does. And if they don't get a reward out of it, they won't do it. Just like all the other animals that are sterilized, all the other, they call them steers and cattle. And you create a steer, and they're not bulls. So anyway, that's your job. An IUD, something that is what pharmacies hate, because the end result of it is that you only need it once. It's cheap. It's over with. The doctor doesn't get repeated visits. None of that. And of course, there's IUDs that used to be used and IUDs that are used today. And there are differences, and you need to investigate that. You really do. You need to understand what is and is not true. And IUDs have been in practice for 100 years plus. So there's enough information to tell you what you need to know. There's enough information to make a decision for you, as is the evidence of truth. This is what it is. This is how it works. This is the consequences of it, and so on. But the end result of it is that we don't have a lot of time left. You think that we'll wait and see. Well, you won't wait and see. You will wait and die, because there's no going back to a dead world. You're just not going to be able to do that. The world is dead. It's a living world. The world is dead. It's a dead world. Done. So we have to do it now, even if you don't want to. Even if you think it's a trap. It's a trap. It's not a trap. In real terms, it's a reality of choice. Either we try our best to make a difference and to stop the insanity of men from taking over this world and releasing all kinds of war onto it, destroying everything that can possibly be destroyed, and make the decision to stop what has to be stopped, and choose a better way, some way that will let us live, hopefully, because we're standing on the threshold of, it's too late to do anything. So, we're going to run out of water, we're going to run out of food, we're going to run out of everything. We're going to run out of space. The world will be overheated, and that means the immigration of people has to occur, or they have to die, and they're going to immigrate. And they're going to immigrate to you, and they're going to take your water, and then you're going to fight with them, and it's just a hell on earth. And of course that means that all of the facets of our survival, all the food supplies that we require, everything is going to end. And that of course turns into cannibalism. You can see it. It's real. It's not a figment of my imagination or yours. It's the reality of life. When the food runs out, the food runs out. And the answer to men has always been, we'll go take theirs instead now. And that's what war is. Plus the fact that they just, when men lose their hope, they either gamble first, which means that, this is the last of my hope. I'm hoping that I can, get something more. So I gamble, which hardly ever works, and is stupid. But the other part of that is they create a leader. They create a leader, just like Hitler was, and then they go to war. So that you say we're going to tear down the law so that we can have chaos. Chaos will let us murder whoever we want. Chaos will let us take whatever we want. Chaos will, make us equal. Put us equal with tragedy and death and all kinds of things that are horrible. So we turn to ladies. You have to do what you can. You have to pick yourselves up. You have to quit thinking about the imagination and fantasies and delusions, and actually make a difference by organizing yourselves and being heard before it is simply too late. and it is fast becoming too late. You know, there are any number of things that call that reason why. Take a look at where there is war. You want to live there? Actually, men don't either. They want what they want. But as with all wars, after a few gunshots go off and a few things are won, they took a look and you lost. That's all there is. You lost. There's nothing here that you want to keep, and there's nothing left to rebuild with. You lost. That's what they did. They lost. And of course, you know, the soldier has to realize that this is our world too, and no damn leader is going to tell me or anybody else, any of us, we have to kill our world. How is that not true?